Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of On Approach. This is episode 7.
63, climb maintain 13 down.
13,000, Tempo 63.
463, contact the New York Center 128.3.
28-3, Tempo 63, good day. Hello, Captain.
Welcome back, everyone. Introducing our hosts for this week. From the top, we've got Mr. Brian, a.k.a. B. Crawley 57.
Hi, everyone.
Sky 5 buddy, welcome. Following that, we got Mr. Keven, aka Live Sparks.
High five. Sky five.
Then we have Mr. Mark, aka Sparks _ Smudge.
Hello.
And last but definitely not least, Mr. Pear, aka P3 Ron.
Hello, from outer space.
He's from outer space. All right, another interesting week in stories. Let's dive right in. Oh, and we are filmed in front of a live studio audience once again this week. You're gonna want to follow to catch the live shows. Twitch.tv/The Sky Lounge. All right, top stories. First one submitted by Mr. Live Sparks. PSXseeconTraffic, live air traffic in your sim. Checking this out, Mr. Keven, I'll let you take the lead on this.
Yeah, well, honestly, I saw that. I saw what it did. I did not try it, did not download it, but I posted it. So I don't know if any of you guys tried it. I know it injects some sort of live traffic into the simulator, and it's honestly something that should have been done a long time ago. Don't know how it works or if it works, but I guess it takes data from probably the same sources as Flight Radar 24 and some other online radar things. So that's very interesting. I really wish I could try it, but I have so many things to do and not a lot of time on my hands. So I guess one of you guys will try it, and Edson is going to be the first one.
So here's what's weird about this. I was lucky to be working on something similar to this with another developer that was working on another tool for the Sky Lounge, which was going to inject real-world traffic in to the sim. However, the weird hurdle was this, that Flight Radar and those services don't have any kind of API that I know of to tie into to pull data. And the data that they receive is based on actual users, physical people on the ground near airports with hardware that are receiving flight traffic and stuff. I don't know. This is just it's a really, I have no idea how this is being done.
But that's how
and
Flight
it's
Radar
exciting.
24 works. That's how it works right now with Flight Radar. Is people have hardware and they supply their a server with.
They're a server
the
basically.
data.
But that's the missing link, right? Is but Flight Radar doesn't put that info back out. Other than on their website, there's no you can get into our
API.
database. There's no API. So how is this pulling that data? I don't care, but it's magic, and it's magic that I like. I am excited for this.
It says the real-life traffic information is provided by for-flight output stream of real traffic for PSX, which I know I have no idea what it is, but it's a low-cost version. And if you think about it, for-flight is one of the best applications to do that because it can actually connect to some hardware you have in the airplane. That will check using the same TCAS system, the same system as the TCAS uses to get airplanes around. So I guess that's a more reliable source of data if it's sent back to for-flight for use for other airplanes and stuff. If they have an API, then that's just perfect.
That's
even
true.
better.
That's true. So yeah, it looks like they're using another source. Really exciting though. Mr. Brian, does this look like something you would be interested in?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, anything to. I mean, one of the questions you do get asked is, are those planes there in real life, or is it just a simulation of those planes? The thing I like about this is it would really test your ATC skills, because you try coming into a busy airport with real traffic on. Can you imagine trying to find a slot? It'd be interesting seeing how that pans out, really. Given that your ATC, given that your ATC is probably pretty full anyway, how do you slot in?
A good point, Mr. Mark.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I do. I know. Yeah, I do get it. Obviously, I think that it's a great idea having real world aircraft flying around you. You know, I mean, I could open up as you know, flight radar and say the 747 going over my house and check it, and that's going to fucking Dubai or whatever, which is great. It's a great idea, but when you're on the ground at Heathrow Airport, surrounded by 500 planes, all wanting to take off and taxiing and landing every 2-3 minutes, you are not gonna be able to fucking get out of the airport.
No, you're not getting a damn slot.
I hope in hell.
But that's
if
the
you
point,
survive
right?
that long, because that many AI aircraft is just gonna kill your sim.
But that's the point, right? I think that's an interesting point. When you have AI traffic packages that you buy somewhere on the internet for flight sim, you might actually get a lot of airplanes, but the logic behind it is still controlled by stupid AI program like 10-15 years ago. When you get live applications like this, it's real aircraft flown by real people. And when you wait in line for 1 hour, you don't have airplanes disappearing in front of you. So some people are after this, and I totally understand, totally get it, and it's a level of immersion above what we're used to. That's awesome.
I think it's
just
awesome.
Look at that screenshot there. That screenshot there, it says 18 aircraft live, 73 parked.
Right.
I mean,
So look, I'm
come
guessing
on.
that's 18 in the air and 73 at gates. That's
parking
insane.
positions 260. Percentage park 35%.
Say goodbye to your VAS.
Man, that's just gonna kill people's sims.
Last time I had traffic.
But great. I mean, kudos to the guy. It's a great idea. I just don't think it's going to be practical.
It looks like the range was 40 miles, I think. Somewhere around here it said there's a range of about 40 miles around you or something like that it handles traffic for. Well, then that's a lot when you think about San Francisco, when you think about the Bay Area, when you think about over Heathrow, when you think about New York. And you're talking, lots and lots of air traffic.
I mean, you've got
there's
40
taxiing.
miles. You've got.
Think about taxiing, right? You just want to back up, but none of those planes know that you're there, but you know that they're there. ATC is not going to coordinate between that. These planes are just going and going and going, and you kind of have to find the
go
spot.
straight through you.
Yeah. So really interesting. You do have the option, as you see here in the interface, to actually turn off collision detection, which is pretty cool because he's assuming that's going to be a problem. But we're seeing if anybody out there does try this out this week, or if you've already tried it out, please leave a note in the comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Moving on, we've got the G750 simulator. This one submitted by Mr. Raven Galactic. Flight1 Aviation Technology standalone GTN 750. Older product, new approach. This puts the power of a GTN 750 into your iPad, which is kind of interesting, right? Because now you're not functioning with the you're not functioning with a virtual cockpit anymore. Now you have a GTN 750 in your hand in front of you. Starting from the top.
I want that.
Starting from the top, Mr. Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, if that's, I already use my iPad for my FMC, so if the GTN was to come out an iPad and it looks like it has, I would like that one day looking at the price. Yeah,
I love how he quickly changed to I would like that one day.
$150. Yeah, but you know, absolutely brilliant. 'Cause it is a good tool. I found it a bit limiting for the VFR traffic in the rest of the world because it doesn't really have all the airports. I'm constantly adding the waypoints, you know, which is a bit frustrating. But the GTN tool itself is absolutely fantastic, and to get it off the screen and into an iPad would be nice.
Mr. Kevin, I'll go to you. Go to you next.
I want that. I really want that. There are some airplanes like the PC-12 and some other airplanes that just don't have the VC capability to have the GTN 750 in it.
I got the 750 in my PC-12.
Oh, screw you! I don't want. Okay.
Cheers.
But there's a lot.
I'll
of,
hook you up after the
fooling
show.
around and
Yeah, you're right. No, it's hack. They're hack jobs. Yeah, for sure.
they're hack jobs, and if you have like an integrated solution, if the nav works, if the frequencies work, if you see the traffic and stuff, it's gonna be like a game changer. I think the iPad is going to be in the next year, in the coming years, a more integrated part of the simulation.
Right.
And but those training tools are so expensive. 149, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw. That's crazy expensive, but you know, most of that money will go to Garmin directly.
So, Kevin, I want to touch with you on this one. Not touch you, touch with you. You are a Sky 5. You are you're a user of ForeFlight. So, how does this compare price-wise with ForeFlight?
I guess ForeFlight is a yearly subscription that's similar to what a one-time price for this product will cost. But still, if you want to update the data from this application, now I don't know if the iPad version is different from the version that we have integrated in the VC, but in the version that we have currently, we have to update the database, and it costs a lot of money. It's like $70-80 something for the basic pack.
Mm-hmm.
ForeFlight, it's 149, I think, and you get everything from the US. You
get all the
data
flight planning
worldwide.
tools and charts and all sorts of fun
Yeah,
stuff.
you have detailed data for America, and you have like global details still, like the airports and some of the frequencies and some basic information about all the airports on the planet. So
Yeah.
I prefer ForeFlight because it's more like it's an integrated solution, and it's been built for the iPad and the iPhone. So I still prefer that to the GTN, but the GTN it like gives a level of integration with the airplane that you don't get with ForeFlight, like frequencies and stuff.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Mr. Mark?
Hello, Mr. Edson.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm just having an issue with my iPad here. Oh, fuck it. Go away. Right. Yeah.
I think that's his feedback. I think that's his actual feedback. He's like, you know what? And that's why I don't want it on my iPad.
No. I think it's going to be perfect for an iPad. I mean, I currently use this one.
Yeah. Radio HD. A great
yes,
one.
I use this a
I've got
lot.
the
and
suite
it's great.
right here.
It's great because, you know, you've got your autopilot on it, you've got your radio frequencies and stuff. It's easy to access, and touchscreen is great. The 750 is a touchpad device. I mean, that 750 is a touchpad device.
Right.
So it will work perfectly on a touchpad device.
Yep.
It'll work. I'm looking forward to it. It is pricey, but you never know. You never know. One day.
Yeah, it's in gonna get it. That's in with your 8 iPads on your desk.
And as Kevin said, all those aircraft that, you know, your 750 doesn't actually plug into, you've got it right there.
That's true. That's a really, really good point. Is that some aircraft just simply cannot take the 750, and while you can do the whole pop-out thing, this at least keeps you immersed with one. You know, where we count on that. We count on that immersion thanks to a virtual cockpit. But in this case, you almost have like a physical cockpit, right? Because it's going to now be in front of you. Mr. Pear, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. very fitting for an iPad since it's already is a touchscreen device. Absolutely, absolutely something I would like to have. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for your
The
story,
last
Mr.
point
Raven.
on this.
Yep.
Oh, Raven's there.
Sorry. I might have to go and get myself an iPad Mini just for the GTN 750 because that'd be the perfect
Do
size.
it.
Yeah, last thing about this point. When you look at the real price of the unit, like a physical GTN, that's like $5,000-$10,000. So buying an iPad and getting it on the iPad is way less expensive. Than
I subscribe to many magazines like this to keep me in check for how it is in the real world. You know, to have those types of tools that we enjoy virtually, and yeah, it makes our hobby seem very, very cheap. Very, very cheap, because I think it's about $15K for a GTN, if not more. So cool. Moving on, next topic. Yeah, it's the price of a car for sure. Oh, these are fun ones. This was some serious drama last week. We talked a bit about the A380 announcement with some teen liveries that were going to come out being released by a team that no one heard about, called by the name of Cloud Surf Team. We laughed, we giggled, but in the end it was like, well, whatever, it's news, we're reporting on it, let's see what happens. A whole lot has happened in the past week. Like a whole lot has happened in the past week. Boom, like nuke status. So we're not going to go through each and every update, but I will throw out you know, a couple of key points here. I provided an update, I think this was on Monday, regarding, oh no, this was Sunday night after taping, an update from the, I don't even want to call him a CEO, from the creator, where I where I posted, you know, his rebuttal to the criticism. And you know, he's talking about the model in this native form is 95% done, the virtual cockpit is 75% done, blah blah blah. And as you can see here, Mr. Sparks mentioned, when are they going to ask for money? Like, at what point are they going to say, we need some money? And sure enough, you know, they mentioned another project that they were looking to buy, and they were thinking about raising, we would like to raise $20,000 through donations by you guys. Crazy shit, right? So the internet went ablaze with that. And we'll fast forward to where we're at today with Cloud Surf Team. As you can see, the source, which was linked, literally no longer exists. They have completely disbanded. They were nuked off the face of the earth by themselves. The amount of criticism, the amount of investigative work that went into this, and I'll post this link submitted by Mr. Live Sparks, brought to us by our friends at FS Elite, who did an incredible job researching this. I mean, you know, an incredible job researching this to its core, breaking it down, discovering matches with another project, which was the Project Airbus A380. The Cloud Surf team did a live stream, and basically in their live stream had, you know, streamed some of the model work being done, but then from that stream they were able to match it to the exact same file from the Project Airbus thing. Crazy, dude. Crazy, 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 crazy shit happened. Anyways, in the end, RIP Cloud Surf team, and good job all the Sherlock Holmes in the flight sim industry. We'll start with Mr. Brian. Any comments on this, man?
It's good to see that they've pulled the plug themselves. The community is so close now, and such good streams of communication that these people get winkled out very quickly these days. The naivety of the community we've matured, and we're not going to fall for these idiots anymore.
Mr. Keven?
We sort of predicted what would happen. I certainly did not expect it to happen this quickly, though.
Yeah, we did last week, man.
Stolen models, I think, is something that's it happens more than we think. When you start designing an aircraft, I feel you're in search for a model or something to base yourself on. And that's exactly what they did, but they ended up like stealing the thing and actually streaming it from what's being said. That's what's been said in the FS Elite post article. FS Elite, they have been very good at debunking many things in the past, including like the camera system that we announced. I think that's one of the first that they made. They took all the details that were out there and made a story about it and predictions and all the, like they did their Sherlock Holmes, really. But this post that they made is like something on a scale that's totally different from what we've seen before. It's like going into detail that no one saw, and you know some of that information you might take into with a grain of salt. But most of the information there I feel are real, and that's really sad to see the community, not the community, but some developers trying to grow with this concept of stealing others' work and being hypocrite like this and asking for money and stuff.
Yeah, it's nice to see him go down. Mr. Mark?
Yeah, well, I did say last week, I said, take it with a large pinch of salt. It looked very shady from the outset, and I'm not surprised on the outcome. And Mr. B stepped on a little something, saying about the tight knit community that Flight Sim is. It is very tight knit now, especially after incidents like FSX Genius ripping people off and stuff. People are a lot more aware, a lot more.
There's a name we haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, I'm just saying, a lot of people are a lot more. They're not gonna. This guy's gonna set my machine up if I pay him $20, and he's gonna send me a new machine. I'm gonna send him loads of. But it doesn't happen anymore. People are just, their heads are screwed on now. It's happened before. It won't happen again. The community is too tight now. People talk to each other. Have you heard of this guy? He's doing this. Is he legit? No, fuck him off.
Sparky, I thought at this point you would start singing, "We're not gonna take it." No, we ain't gonna take it. I really thought I was counting on you for that, bro. But I get it. It's early over there. I get it. Singing comes later.
Yeah, that's my thing on it. I think community needs to stick together, needs to support each other, and just step on these people as soon as they raise their ugly heads.
Mr. Pear.
Yeah, there is nothing more to be said about that case.
Yeah. I do have. I want to pose one question. And this is going to be. It might be a little bit of a spiky one. Do you think, however, in contrast to us actually discovering a fraud and pointing one out, do you think we're also too quick to pull out pitchforks for people that might actually be doing something right, and then in turn discouraging people from wanting to build something for our community? Because that could easily become a backlash as well. It could bite us in the ass to be such dicks about, like, are you really doing this though? Let me see it. Prove it to me. Show it to me. I mean, a developer doesn't want to hear that on and on and on. Go ahead, Mr.
Yeah.
Keven touched on this last week as well. He said, don't tell anyone. Develop it, make it, release it. Don't go say, we're going to make this, and then hype it up to some ridiculous thing and then never release it. because we hear this story. Kevin hears this story all the time of developers trying stuff, and you never see the light of day. Just do it, make it, release it, and then we can judge it.
And
There's
here's
a
the thing.
difference.
There's a thing with the development of add-ons in the flight sim community. I think it goes for many projects as well outside of the sphere of the flight simulation. When it comes to motivation, when you work on something that you feel people will be excited about, if you keep it for yourself, you'll keep your motivation. If you tell someone about it, if you announce it publicly, you lose a bit of that motivation, because it's like you're halfway there. You don't have the product released, but you feel like you're halfway there, and you lose the motivation, and then things take longer, and then it dies out. Right. Take a look at the NLS A380. We're staying in the exact same thing.
Is the exact same thing over again.
The guy developed this airplane without announcing it, and as soon as he announced it, motivation got away, updates were less frequent, and then it died.
Yeah.
That's what happens with a lot of projects. If you shut your mouth, you work on it, that doesn't mean like you don't search for help if you need help, like on the forums or anything. But if you have a product to announce, it has to be so close to release that you can't lose that motivation.
Yeah, from live viewer and fellow patron, Mr. Ninja Forever says, exactly, announce it when it goes in beta. And that's a really good piece of feedback. So it seems like that's a general concept. I just want to make sure that, we don't become a community of doubters, right? Demotivating people to develop. We want to encourage people to develop. But things like this, investigation this deep, should really happen when you absolutely have probable cause that you're going to dig up some shit. Like I would hate to see good upcoming developers be exposed to something like this, which is basically a community of people saying bullshit. So, to all the future developers, there's some advice. If you're building something, build it and show us when you have something solid, whether that be an alpha or beta stage. Because even alpha these days seems to just be, an acceptable point in time, an acceptable milestone to demonstrate a product. So,
yeah,
all right,
question.
And sure.
And last thing, because there are going to be a lot of people that have to make. It's a big topic, right?
It's a big one.
Just to say, in the last 10 years, over 10 years that I've been in this community, never have I once seen unfair criticism from the community against the developer without their criticism to be true. It's like if people are skeptical, they have reasons to be skeptical, and never they have been wrong, the community, about this so far, from what I've seen. So, next one.
One last comment from a quote from one of my favorite films: "If you build it, they will come."
Nice. And Mr. Pear.
My question is, did they ask for money behind this project?
So they asked for money. At one point they did ask for money. I'll pull up the post. They asked to raise $20,000 to purchase
Euros.
20,000 euros to purchase the NLS A380 project.
And they want a
donations.
donation by us.
Yes.
And that's a
Wanted
big alarm.
donations.
That's a whole lot.
There is a big red light going off right there.
Right.
And that is not normal. That's the difference between a professional made add-on and something like this.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
All right, moving on. Next story. This one submitted by S. Simmons 1958. Need more programmable buttons or axes? Axes.
I need more axes.
I'm gonna play Minecraft. Need more axes. This is a really cool thread, and I'm really happy that he posted this. So, Mr. Simmons has a need for additional buttons and control surfaces to control his cameras and some additional things in Sim. He has an extra joystick that's sitting in his closet, like many of us do, and he wanted to put them to use. So he went hunting and found a couple pieces of software here. These are some are freeware. You might want to check this out if you're in the same boat. I do know that we've had many discussions with Keven regarding chase plane, you know, wanting more buttons and needing more buttons. Like, we could probably never have enough buttons. I could probably have a keyboard in front of me dedicated to camera views. It's so ridiculous.
A chase plane console.
The chase plane console, bro.
Yeah.
We're gonna build MIDI controllers for that, okay? We're gonna build.
Don't worry, I'm already on
We're
it.
gonna build button
Gentlemen.
controllers.
Gentlemen,
Yes,
buttons on toys.
but yes, buttons on play. There are a couple of tools here, so if you're in that boat, you might want to jump into this thread and have a look for yourself. There are a couple links. I'm not going to follow each and every one. But Mr. B, I know you have a pretty extensive setup. You have lots
Yeah.
and lots and lots of hardware there. Have you found yourself in need of something like this?
You know, the biggest drawback for me is my memory and remembering what switch does what. And what I do, I've got a thing here which overlays. Can you see that on camera?
Oh, yeah.
That overlays on my switch panel. So I can
What?
customize that to suit any aircraft. So this one here is for the 737, for example.
Nice.
I-
Here, I'll show you. I'll show you my
got one of
overlay.
those-
I'll show you
one
my
of those
overlays.
clicky-
There's my overlays.
Yeah, you get one of those clicky punch things, haven't you?
Yeah, label
Take-
maker.
That's just a printer.
Click, click, click.
But-
Spin, spin. Click, click.
You have too many switches, though, ultimately, and you forget what the bloody things do when you're changing aircraft and that. So I try to keep it to a reasonable number. For instance, my TPM panel, that's got 9 switches on it. Very difficult to mark up, very difficult to remember what's what. So I don't use them at this moment in time.
Mr. Keven.
I'm working on a physical hardware with my brother that has like a lot of access and maybe some custom USB code to pop them back to center when I press a button and stuff. Some LEDs. I'm trying to play with this around and see what I can do. Maybe I'll need this application at some point, but well, I'm trying to keep it hardware as much as possible. Like, you plug it and you already have those access already, all available. I found some circuit boards, and it's gonna be an interesting one.
Nice, nice. Say no more until you have something to show. I'll pull out my picture.
Absolutely.
Bullshit. You don't even have a brother.
I have a stepbrother,
Mr. Sparks.
brother
go.
from the same father.
There you go. Mr. Mark, what
just
you
ran
got?
up. I love Minecraft. You
I
can't
love
have enough
Minecraft.
axes, man. You can't have enough axes. That's for sure. Always breaking them. No, it's a great little piece of software by the looks of things. I was thinking about picking it up because I've got buttons going on my throttle. I'm losing buttons by the day at the moment by the looks of things. I mean, it's shot. This throttle is shot. So I'm losing buttons by the day, and I'm having to remap them onto my keyboard, which means I have to climb over the back of my joysticks to get to the keyboard. It's an absolute pain in the ass. But yeah, having an extra controller. I mean, I've got an Xbox controller, which I can just lay on my lap. If I can map buttons to that, then that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I know
Is there
that.
a thing-
Go ahead.
Is there a thing that works on your setup, Sparky?
Is there one thing that works?
The
there
sim
one
works.
thing?
The sim works.
Okay.
So I know
Yeah.
that special needs is a very important market, and it actually is one that's a fairly large segment of flight simulation. Special needs. I think the dream of flight for people that may not be able to actually pursue that in real life, flight simulation kind of fills that need. I think that in cases like that, pieces of software like this are indispensable. Like, they're incredible. I mean, it unlocks all sorts of possibilities for control surfaces. You know, I know people that have to control things with their feet, and you know, things like this. If you have to find, you know, some special controller or a special keyboard with larger buttons, or a joystick that has a very specific mold to it for you to grab it. I mean, this is huge. So it's exciting to see software like this being pushed out into the world. Mr. Pear, do you use something like this? I know you have a very extensive setup as well.
No, actually, I'm not using something like that. I'm using FSUIPC for most of my stuff.
Okay. Is it limited though, FSUIPC?
No,
with the number of controls.
To be honest, I haven't played too much around with it, but so I can't tell. But you can basically bind all kinds of stuff from all kinds of computers over the network to whatever you want through that, because it interfaces with the same.
Yeah,
it's a great
very handy that.
Cool. Moving on, next story.
There's one caution on that. Don't use your push to talk button to produce smoke.
Wait, who wants to tell that story? Mr. Sparks, I think you're the best to tell this story, please.
No, I think Mr. B.
Mr. B, please share the story with everyone.
Yeah, I was flying along with the guys. I think it was on the world tour in my beautiful A2A Comanche, and I just serviced it and everything, got up in there and smoke started pouring out, and I thought, WTF, what's going on here? And then the smoke would go away, and I'd say to everybody on stream, the smoke's gone away. And then the minute I said that, it was back again. And ultimately what I found out was and I actually reset my A2A aircraft back to factory settings because I thought I'd really screwed it up. And in the end, what it was, when I was pressing my push to talk button with wide FS, it was activating the smoke on the A2A plane. And I did this live on stream. Everybody was laughing at me. But I was so relieved that we got it resolved.
But I think the fun part was that you would stop using push to talk and just fly for a little while because you were pissed off. So you would not talk because you were upset, and everything would be fine. And then you would get on the mic to tell people that I think I've got it fixed, and you'd be like, "Ah, shit," because as soon as you get on the mic to tell people,
the smoke started pouring out again.
It was incredible. So yes, that's a heed warning on what buttons you bind to what. Moving on, next story. This one's submitted by me. I will engage audio here. This is kind of amazing. This is your partner's snore may not be so bad at all. Let's check this out here. Gosh. It's a biplane.
And Baron.
Oh my god.
So good.
So good. So good. Moving on, next story. This one's submitted by Strike Eagle 78. Air Canada new livery. So this is pretty badass. So I'm gonna ask a question first. Is this an Airbus?
No.
No, look at the engines.
Okay, see,
787.
787. Okay. I guess I never really noticed that the 787 doesn't have that weird Boeing kind of tail thing up here, that kind of leads up to the tail. But maybe it's only the 737 that has that. But I'm gonna try and pause at the right moment here, because there is a piece of sexy in this video that is absolutely unbelievably hot. We'll see if I can get it right. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. This livery is gorgeous, by the way. It went with a black tail. Must be the cool thing to do these days. Thanks for copying us, Amazon.
Yeah, the best thing about this
What's
is
that?
all all Canadians don't like the livery.
They don't really. It's not been well received.
Oh. I actually manage a plane spotting group here in Montreal.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm the founder of the biggest community here. It's like 7,000 people or something. And
I thought Edson
there
was
was
a nerd.
there was such a big debate in the group that all the mods left.
Oh my
All the
gosh.
moderators left. So now I'm alone with my co-founder friend, and we're stripped out of our 10 mods because of this thing that some people saw the airplane arrived in Montreal
Right.
before it was announced,
Okay.
and had pictures and posted the pictures in the group before it was announced.
And they lost their shit.
And then we have some officials in the group. We have it's important to keep that private, you know.
Right.
So it made it made a big row, and we lost all the mods. So
Dude,
that's a big event
dude,
that happened this
dude.
week.
These windows. This is
It's Batman.
sexy,
Don't you
dude.
see?
This is
It's
sexy.
Batman.
It's Batman?
Yeah.
This is so hot. Why is this so sexy to me?
Do
you
you
know
know
why?
the airplane? Do you know the Bandit?
Yeah, of course. I
The
love the
airplane.
Bandit. Yeah.
It's exactly
The private
same
jet.
thing.
No,
Yeah,
this,
7.6.
dude, this is so hot.
Yeah, it reminds you of a certain French band, doesn't it? That
There it
those
is.
windows.
Oh, Daft Punk. Yeah, buddy, it does. I just want to see Daft Punk behind those windows just DJing, bro. That's what I want to see. Amazing. But thank you for sharing that story, Mr. Strike Eagle.
I don't
Actually,
like it either.
You don't like
It's
it?
gone away from the Canadian national colours, really, isn't it? You
What,
associate
red?
Canada the red and white. That's black.
Yeah, but
That's not
there's
Canadian.
red there. I'm sure the
Yeah,
clear
not much
Reminder
of
of the old. It's a good reminder of the old livery, and they did that for the I think 70th anniversary, and it's a reminder of the old livery. That was the one before the current one.
So I was reading the story posted, and it actually said in there that into the clear coat for this plane, they mixed maple syrup.
Wasp strike.
And that makes it Canadian. Moving on to the next story.
You know, hold on. You know, the current livery there is sort of a bluish tint to the.
It's from the maple
fuselage.
syrup, for sure. It is from the maple
That's
syrup.
no, but we used to call it Colgate airplane. It's a Colgate
Colgate.
because it looks
have-
like toothpaste.
All right, this is a good one.
Don't say that, because you can have people licking the plane now, Edson, every time
Yeah.
you get on board. They'll be licking the paint.
You know what was weird? So I just took these flights. I just took these flights back from Kansas City this week, and I started to notice something. Almost every person boarding these planes, I was on Southwest, I don't know if that makes any difference, but almost every person on their way in caressed the outside of the plane as they walked
do
in the
that.
door. They like caressed
I
it.
noticed that.
I don't know if it's a connection thing or if they're just checking to see if, I don't know, if it's maple syrup. I don't know.
No, I think it's a matter. You know, if you were next to a space shuttle, you'd like to touch it.
Yeah, it
'Cause
is.
you'd be
It's
like,
magical. It is magical.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
there's
thing
something
has
magical.
gone to space. That
Yeah,
thing gone to
yeah.
space, you know?
Most
and
definitely.
now it's like that thing will take me up 38,000 feet and minus 52 Celsius. You know?
So I better be nice.
connection.
I better be nice to it. Is that it? Good little airplane. Good little. You're gonna take me safely. Good little airplane.
Don't scratch it, you know?
Yeah, let's just hope you're not touching.
Moving on. Next
wrong
story.
car.
This is FS Dream Team releases fresh Charlotte Douglas International Airport KCLT images, and by fresh I mean lots and lots and lots of them. We'll head over to their Facebook page for a peek. This one's submitted by Ivana Fly. Let's head over to Facebook. Here we go. Plenty of photos here. If I'm not mistaken, they are in the 60s with the number of photos. It's kind of amazing.
Wow.
This is incredible looking.
That's insane.
Yes. So Imagine Sim already put out this airport last year. I have it. This is so much nicer. This is incredible. Look at the glass.
God
Looks
damn.
real.
This is
does look real.
unreal. And then downtown Charlotte, I mean, this is unreal, man.
This is the kind of picture I would have loved to see in 2006. Definitely is.
It's just incredible, man. It really, really is incredible. Yeah, yeah. So I can tell you right now, you know, these guys, they put out works of art. They confirmed SODE. I don't know what they mean by yes, all type of fingers. I don't know.
That means, yeah, fingers. It's
tell
the
me.
gates. All the
Okay,
gate
okay,
heads
the gates.
will
Okay, oh,
move
finger. I
within
never
the
heard them
solder.
referred to as fingers.
I just wondered about that line, you know, because would you really want many fingers? Is it?
This
That
is
way it just looks like a figure, right? Is it? No, it doesn't.
It does kind of. I mean, all the gates are different, but all the gates are different. All the fingers are different. This is wicked, man. This is wicked. So, good job, FS Dream Team. I'm really looking forward to more news, and more importantly, I'm looking forward to release of that one, man. That's a must on my list. It's so beautiful.
They're so good.
Moving on, last story for today in our top stories category. This is TOGA Projects shows off new I have the hardest time saying this. No, you gave me a hint the last time. You said say ENVTEX, and I like that. ENVTEX UI. Because I want to say, yeah, it's just wacky. Anyways, moving on. This one's submitted by Ivana Fly. It's looking really, really nice. We'll go over to Facebook as well for this one.
You know, a funny thing, this software is made by French people. PSXseekonTraffic was made by French Canadian. I think we have a tendency to give out names for those products that people just can't say in other languages.
You're right. You have FSX,
Yeah.
you have FSFX, which everybody calls something completely different. And I want to say for this, I want to continuously say ENVTEX.
Yeah.
That's what
Environment
textures. Yeah. Really, really clean interface. A huge change. So I'm a user of ENVTEX. I'm just gonna go with that for now on. I'm a user of ENVTEX. I use some of the features, not all. I think some are better than others. That's all up for everyone's personal debate. But this interface is gorgeous compared to what they currently have. So I'm really excited. It says this preview still shows a work in progress and nothing is definitive. Thus, you're much welcome to share your thoughts on the current version and this small preview. So looking forward to this. I'm going to start this one with Mr. Keven for some feedback on UI from another French Canadian.
Well, they're French.
They're French. Okay.
French.
Oh,
I
like that French
baguette.
Yeah, baguette.
I like the new UI, but I feel like, I don't know, it feels like it was made in PowerPoint. And I'm sorry, it's better than it was. But it's, you know, the gradient on top and the icons on
it makes it look like a Windows bar. Yeah, that needs to go because they have the separation on the left side here. That's just overkill. It can just be solid.
That's my own taste. It's miles better than what they had, and it's probably using the exact same technology that we do with Chaseplane and VFX Central. But it's a major improvement from what they have. I really like the fact that they concentrate on that, and they probably listened to feedback from the community, because that's what I read at some places. So it's good to see them moving in that direction and listening to what people have to say.
I'll tell you what I love. I love the performance impact column.
Oh, yeah.
And I would love to see more developers adopt something like this. This is absolutely beautiful.
I think that's been inspired by Ultimate Terrain. Back in the days, a lot of years ago, the Ultimate Terrain, when that was released, they had a small configurator with the performance impact like this, exactly like this, with various options. And that's the only other developers that did that from memory.
It's interesting to me how much of an impact the Cirrus clouds have.
Yeah, and it's not 4K textures, right? Because 4K textures, the bar would be filled.
Yeah, seriously. Any other thoughts, guys?
Croissants. Making me hungry now.
Croissant.
All right.
Yeah, Kevin, you were saying that they, talking to the community, getting inspired for the UI and stuff. The community probably just said, just copy Chase Plane.
Probably. We are sort of a competitor with Precipitate FX and VFX Central, so my guess is that...
Well, you are not a competitor with them. You are them. You said you're a competitor.
I am a competitor to them.
Oh, you're a competitor to Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
All
Yeah. So I guess the fact that we have VFX Central and the options and the UI, I think that pushed a little bit forward the new interface
good.
for them as well.
Competition is good.
Competition
It's
is
good for the
good.
community.
All right, moving on to some things worth mentioning. These are stories that were submitted this week that are definitely worth mentioning, but may not have made the top stories list, be it based on views or be it just based on we've already covered it. From the top, this one submitted by me. Gorgeous Air Force One repaint for the PMDG 747 V3. This by J Designs TS. You're going to want to check this out. Follow the show notes down below. It's a beautiful repaint and is being flown all over. It's worth having in the hangar. Makes it really shine. Another one submitted by me. FS Dream Team Standalone Add-on Manager has received an update. If you have any products requiring it, chances are you've already been notified by your P3D or FSX.
Just on that note, Mr. Edson.
Yes, sir.
If you downloaded the beta, which came out a month ago or so,
The GSX beta?
It's basically the same thing, but it's now actually a full release.
Okay, gotcha. Also updated the FS Labs A320 for P3D and FSX all received updates. If you own the Fly Simware Cessna 402, 441, or the MU2, and you use the GTN 750, you're going to want to head over to this link as well to get some advice from the developer on how to fix an issue that arose. They have integrated the GTN 750 directly in as an installer now, instead of doing a hack job.
Staying on Flight Simware for a small second, they also updated their freeware page on the website with new installers. So if you guys are interested into
Freeware.
Bald Eagle and some other crazy things.
That's right. They did make other little weird oddities, right?
Yeah,
Cool.
and they updated the installers to support the latest version. So
Moving on, this one by Ivana Fly, Dangerous Approach, Latam. I believe this was a Dantorp Aviation post over on the forum. It is incredible, a breathtaking approach into, this was Sucre, I think, in Peru. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Oh no, it's Cusco in Peru. You're gonna want to watch this video. The views are incredible. The landing is incredible, and if I'm not mistaken, it's amazing. Go and watch it.
I have car parts from Cusco.
not Costco, Cusco.
Cusco, yeah.
Mr. Strike Eagle posts best deal on Active Sky 2016 for FSX and P3D this Tuesday. So if you're watching the show and it is before Tuesday, you're going to want to head over to PC Aviator, where he gives you, Mr. Strike Eagle gives you some advice on stacking some coupon codes to get a great deal on Active Sky. Head over there to the forum, theskylounge.tv. Also released Just Sim Hamburg EDDH, that is now live at Sim Market. This one submitted by me. Updated the GeForce. There's a hot fix for driver version 37848, which takes it up to 37857. I have seen a wonderful, wonderful improvement in VAS management. Not in reduction of VAS usage per se, but in the management of it. I've been able to complete a flight that I was unable to complete 3 out of 3 times before. If that tells you anything, it's maybe worth trying for your system. Everybody's mileage will vary based on what card you have, what system you have, etc. So try it at your own risk. I can tell you that I have seen an improvement with this one, so head over to this link if you want more info. And last but not least, some interesting features on the Aerosoft A330. We'll pop this open for a couple views here while we wrap it up. Mr. Live Sparks, this one's submitted by you. This looks amazing.
That looks incredible. And that's the kind of thing I figure you, Mr. Edson, will love to play with.
Oh, yeah.
That's the kind of eye candy we have not seen yet in Flight Sim. That's awesome. I want to see that coffee moving.
I want to see that coffee moving. Me too.
Yeah.
I love all
paper
the different
between the
touches.
Dude,
I want to see that coffee moving into my cup. Right now.
Amazing, amazing.
Drink it right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up another episode of On Approach. Thank you so much for joining. From the top, Mr. B. Crawley, thank you, sir. Anything exciting going on with your streams this week?
I'm continuing with the dual tours where I'm doing New Zealand Explorer Tour and the West Pacific, the Pacific Coast Splashdown Tour. So I'm continuing that this week on alternate days.
All right, Mr. Sparks, Mr. Mark, anything from you, sir?
Yeah, still up in the air what I'm going to be doing this week. Mr. Buck did say he wanted to do something, but you know, I've totally forgotten what it was. he wanted to do a certain thing. He wanted to take the Connie up. He wanted to take the Connie
right
up.
on. So we might see a Connie flight from you this week.
You may see a Connie flight tomorrow. Yes.
Excellent. Folks, if you haven't followed us on Twitch, please make sure to do so. Twitch.tv/theskylounge. Everyone, have a great night or a great day, and Sky 5.
63, climb maintain 13 down.
13,000, Tempo 63.
463, contact the New York Center 128.3.
28, 30,